So there. Okay. Is that good?
Can I get you some drinks here?
Oh my God! What the? Yes. What? Who are you?
I'm a waitress and server here, sir. Is there a problem?
I'll say. Where are all the old waitresses who used to work here?
Oh, my husband fired them all when he took over. Now he is desperate for new staff.
I'll say he is. Tell him to come out here. I am the mayor, and I would like to meet him. But I will have a sarsaparilla for now.
Make that two, sugar. Mr. Mayor.
You can bring me a tall beer. What'll you have, dear?
Well, just a tea, please. I shouldn't have anything much stronger nowadays. Give me an iron horse, heavy on the gin.
I guess I will have myself a good Irish whiskey. Maybe two.
A time into the bedpost sounds good.
Lil, shh. Not in front of everyone here.
It's a drink, Matt.
Oh, right.
I'll be right back with your drinks.
Hello! I am Enoch T. Buster. You all can call me Nucky. I am the new owner here at the Filthy Glass. Someone asked for me?
Yes, I did. I am Mayor Silas D. Sumbish, and I have been a proud patron of the Filthy Glass for 20-some-odd years. The Filthy Glass Saloon has always prided itself on the strongest drinks, the best entertainment, and the prettiest waitresses in any town west of the Mississippi. That server you brought in, well, she was, how can I put it gently? Well, everybody has a right to be ugly, but she is abusing the privilege.
Sir, you are referring to my wife.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're sorry.
So why did you fire all the old waitresses?
Well, I did not want any women hired by that previous barkeeping owner, Mr. Down. I hear he was a criminal, and I take no risk in my business.
Yes, he was a criminal, and he paid for his crimes. Only one waitress was in on his crimes. The rest were cleared.
I am right here, Sheriff, and I have served my time. I can come back to work here if Mr. Buster is willing.
I said I take no chances. I am looking for new help, but no criminals or those who consort with them. Until then, my wife, her sister, and their mother are my only servers.
Apparently, I'm not done paying for my crime. Y'all will excuse me now.
Now, Daisy, you just stay right here. Any place good enough for me is good enough for you.
Thank you, Silas, but I think I should be going anyhow. I need to be back at my room by 10 p.m. anyhow. Part of my parole, if you remember.
I will come back after the show to make sure that you are, well, where you should be.
Mr. Buster, you'll lose a lot of business if you don't start considering rehiring some of those gals there. It's nice to have a saloon open, but folks won't stay without a pretty face serving the drinks. Mr. Buster, my name is Madame Lot. You can call me Donna.
Done a lot, you say?
Yes, I have. Anyhow, I run a business which happens to have a few women capable of mixing and serving drinks. I can recruit a few to help you out if willing.
Well, that's awfully kind of you, ma'am. So which business do you run here in this town?
I am the matron of the Ishikrosh Club.
Oh, you mean that women's social hall up the road?
The one and the same.
Oh, Belle has been thinking about heading over there. You know, she was head of the Quilter Society back in her old town in their women's club. She'd be quite interested in any women's activity. Is there a gardening club there?
A lot of seeds do get sown there.
Here are your drinks. So, does this woman's club have any quilting, knitting, crochet, or stitching groups?
I dare say a lot of needling does go on there.
Oh, that sounds lovely. I am sure Mother and I would enjoy a large group event.
Mrs. Buster, I'm afraid you're under a misconception, and the gentlemen here are not helping. The Ishikrosh Club is a house of entertainment, a bordello.
What's a bordello?
It's a house of ill repute.
I do not understand.
It's a cat house where men go to.
You mean a whorehouse?
We do not use that word. The ladies of the Ishikrosh are fine, educated, and quite well-rounded women of many skills who happen to perform a service for a fee in this town.
We cannot have ladies of the street working at our saloon.
And why not? They are educated, hardworking, and honest. They will have your saloon in top shape in no time.
But they are fallen women.
Mrs. Buster, now one of my ladies is fallen. This archaic attitude.
Now, honey, we do need the help. Your mother can't do all that work, and Jean could use some help behind the bar, too.
Who is Jean?
Jean Andonic, our only bartender right now. Jean, come on over here, will ya?
Hello, everyone. Your pleasure to meet me. I mean, my pleasure to meet you all. Thank you. Seems like a nice town. But please, I must see to the drinks. Good evening, everyone.
Now, Mrs. Ballbuster?
It's Bell Buster, sir.
Anyhow, as mayor of Big Gulch, I can assure you that Madame Locke's women are the finest examples of honesty, integrity, education, and refinement in this here town.
Doesn't say much about your town.
Mrs. Buster, I may grow offended at such cheek. You could use a little refinement yourself, it seems.
What? How dare you?
Now, honey, why don't you go see to the other tables? We will discuss this later when you aren't so stressed.
I just don't approve of.
I know, dear, but we have to find help somewhere, even if temporary. Now, go help your mother before she falls down and lands on somebody. Madame Locke, if you could send 4 of your available ladies tomorrow, it'd be greatly appreciated.
And what about your wife?
You better make it.
This channel is a not-so-proud member of YouTube's all-encompassing special society of heavily overwhelmed layout enthusiasts. Check any railway show, check any railway club, check any layout, check your own house. You'll find one of us somewhere. Warning, the content of this stream is not suitable for children under the age of 16. The topic, language, themes, attitude, and personality of the presenter is not appropriate for anyone, much less children under the age of 16. Topics discussed will not center on trains and will focus on anything except politics. It just happens trains are running. Any similarity between characters, situations, trains, and intelligent thoughts is strictly a coincidence. Any rebroadcast or transmission of the stream without the expressed written consent of Major League Baseball is strictly prohibited. Viewer discretion is advised. Remember the 3 rules for model train layouts and pretty much anything. It's your layout. Do what you want as you want. Do not tell someone else what to do unless they ask you directly what they should do. Do not call out, mock, criticize, or insult another channel on your channel or anyone else's channel. Thank you for your cooperation.
And see it, you'll love it, and it's all done in the best possible way.
Hey everybody, happy Friday to you all. How are you? I myself am doing fairly well. It's been a quiet week. Some good stuff has been happening for Joyce and me over the last few days, which will probably come up through the course of the stream. Do have a small mail call I'll get to in a second. I'm excited about this, although it's not a train. And it's related to my channel. It's just not necessarily related to my layout. So anyhow, let's get straight into the greetings. And I'm just going to read off the participant list this stream has been happening so fast. A lot of people, I can't even get to the beginning. It's so far back to see who came in first. So we'll just go alphabetically. So, Boilermaker Rick, nice to have you. Boxcar Jerry and Digger Evans. Gentlemen, welcome in. Hi from H&A Express with another amazing video this week. Andy, the hot dog pilot. Always a pleasure to see you, sir. We've got Ivor Junction. Hey, Danny, nice to see you. Greetings to you and the family. Jean Ricard, got some good news from you this week. That was great to hear. John Banicki, awesome to have you here. Kiwi Dave, greetings to Down Under. Kyle Stevens. Joseph Agliato, the Sergeant at Arms for the Knights of the Rhomboid Table is here. Leslie Gilpin, several good videos, including that video today of the layouts at that train show you went to. Mick at Edgeley Park Station, great to have you. Dino from Model Railway Shed, good to have you. Randall Ellison. Robert from Robert's Train Sets. I did not start early, but that's under advisement. But glad to see you here. You just dropped a video about an hour or so ago, which I watched and commented on. Simon, SJ Dusty Pop, always good to see you, man. I miss talking to you. Steve's Double O Gauge, welcome in. My friend Pierre from the comedy world, how are you, sir? Tim JD, one of the pillars, one of the foundations, one of the main knights of the Rhomboid Table, sort of like chairman of the board, shall we say. Tom Couples, another chairman of the board. Chris at Valleys 56, and Steve, who is on a plane 28,000 feet up in the air somewhere from Worthington Model Railway. I see Alan from Dragon Junction just came in. Lord Alan, nice to have you here. And has anybody else come in? So, oh, and Lucy, there, you typed earlier and then it disappeared. Lucy is a former student of mine. Great to have you here, Lucy. Hope you're feeling well. Ifo is here, so now all the tech talk can begin and be corrected. And Kieran, J94, another old-time friend, don't chat with as much as I'd like to, but I guess it's the way of the world sometimes. And Ben from Eagle Creek popped in. I think that is everybody. Peter Jackson just popped in. Every time I say I think that's it, we get one more. Darren Faulkner, how do, sir? Great to have you here. Okay, so I think I've caught everybody who has said hello, and I will try to keep up with as they pop in on the chat now. But that's my participants list. So I'm going to go back to live chat, and if I miss anybody else, please highlight my name, get my attention. I'm excited. This wasn't supposed to come in until Monday, but it came in today. So thank you, United States Post Office, for your very good service. I know some people like to hate on them, but it is a very tough job when you think of the millions, if not billions, of packages they do have to deal with. Especially understaffed as they often are. I know because I've got friends and family who work in the post office. So we'll get straight to this. And I'm kind of excited about this because this is going to motivate me to do some fun stuff. Newspaper, because I'm going to line bird cages. No, I kid you not. Okay, we got one pack, so we're packed and then we're packed. And we're packed, and we're packed, and we're packed. Oh, get this straight out. I dread to think what you have to say that's important, Pierre. What evilness has the villain gotten up to, or has the hunter got his gun backwards, or what? Anyhow. These are from, and many of the American sites here might know them. This is Michael McCarville. Now, I've been online subscribed to Michael's channel for at least 3 years. We have chatted. He used to do live streams, and I would go on and chat with him. He designs 3D buildings. He did it as sort of a sideline bit for other companies, and he's gone into business for himself. Everybody's still saying hi. Watch closely, He just does it because he knows it gets you guys riled up. I'm too excited. I want to get, even though I know what's in the packages, I'm going to get to it. But anyhow, he's now opened his own business, McCarville Studios, which is why you don't see him online as much, because he's running a business. But he is making laser cut 3D structures. And when he posted this before Christmas, I said, you look at the picture there. I said, "Oh my God, that's the Squeaky Spring Hotel." And it's also the original picture of the Itchy Crash from Matt Clark. So I bought this because, and I'll probably get a couple of more of these if he doesn't sell out of them. And I think you can all guess where I'm going with this. That thought hit my eye. Let's see. Did anybody else come in? 156, Andrew. Hey, Andrew, how are you up there on these nippy Scottish evenings? Okay. And then, yeah. Oh, well, if it wants to tear there, I'll tear it there. This is another building that I just felt could easily, let's put it in the right hand that doesn't shake as much. This is another building he designed, and this could easily be one of many buildings in the town of Big Gulch. So I bought these two buildings, and as he designs more, because he does different types of buildings, and he only does a few. He prints them up and then he sells them out. So my son was going to buy these for me for Christmas, but there was a problem with payment or mailing or something like that, and my son couldn't do it. These are not cheap, okay? These are not your $20 quick 3D print bits. I think these cost about $70 to $80 each, okay? But these are real detailed. So I'll put that one up, but I was like, this could be the sheriff's office. It could be the adult toys and games, toys and books, adult books and toys. But yes, I am looking at, and I'm going to make a Big Gulch diorama. I am going to make, hey, Dwight Curley's here. How are you? So they're not going to be on my layout, but I am going to make a Big Gulch diorama. And now I got to start looking for characters that I can paint. And I need, and I'll put this out there right now for anybody watching. If anybody sees a real cheap, broken, I don't want it in working order, but a version of either the old Union Pacific Challenger or the Big Boy, because I'm going to make the Black Mamba. I know how I'm going to do it. I just don't want to spend $100, $200, $300, $400 on a model that I'm going to be modifying. I'm looking for like a $2,500. Oh shit, no. A $25 junker, eBay clunker. It doesn't work. 4 pieces for repair. It doesn't have to be in great shape because it's just going to go on the diorama. But I'm going to make the Black Mamba as well. And then on top of what I bought, he sent me some extra stuff and said I could either use them as a giveaway on my channel if I wanted. So this is free, and these things are 10, 15, 20 bucks on his channel. But, he's trying to get the word out there, and if I were really smart, but I wasn't, I will, in the post notes, I will post a link to Michael's shop I don't think he's ready to ship internationally. I apologize. But, yeah, he sent me a barn here. This was free, and he sells this for a bit of money. This was free, and he sent me a little shed. And he said I could give these away or use them on the layout. Actually, I think I could use them on the layout, but I won't get to any of this for a little while. Anyhow, Dragon, you don't want to loan me yours for a year, because what I'm going to do to it, you won't want it back. And a really bad, funny joke came to mind, but I just won't say it right now. Very inappropriate joke. So anyhow, that was the mail call. I was hoping to have a new train today, but I knew when I ordered it, it would be only if it got rushed out. And it's in Indianapolis right now, so it's not going to be here today. It's with FedEx. FedEx doesn't deliver here locally on Saturdays. Maybe they do. It might be here tomorrow, and then I'll just do a video for it. But yeah, I'm just looking for a broken down. So if you see one at a show, just let me know. I will pay you for it, and I'll pay for shipping. But so that's really the big deal. Is these buildings have inspired me, and I'm going to build a big gulch diorama, which should be easy because sand's easier to do than grass. Randall, you found it and posted it. Great, thank you. Nice job. That's why I make everybody in charge here. Yep, Carvel Studios. So anyhow, that's it today. No other big news. I got a nice quick call from Alan yesterday. I would have talked longer, but I had my grandson, and Alan saw firsthand Kyan does not like Opa on the phone when Kyan is in the house. And yes, Kyan does have to learn the word no, but that's the problem. He has to learn it. I do say no to the kid. Believe it or not, I do say no to my grandson sometimes. Yeah, it was. It's been a relatively quiet week. We have some things are happening. I finally got my last mad money for trains. It's a weird situation, but the people I worked for, when they give you your severance package, this is your sick days, your bonus days, all these bonuses you've earned over your career, they don't give it to you. They create this special savings account called a 403B. They create this special savings account, not to be confused with a 401C. It's a 403B, and you know, if you know taxes, you know. If you don't know taxes, you don't know. If you don't know American taxes, anyhow, so it goes to that account, and they said it would be out in January. Well, I called a week and a half ago, January 20th, says, when are you releasing this money? And they say, well, it'll be released on the 27th. Well, the 27th came, it wasn't in that account. 28th, and then the Sunday, of course, doesn't count. 30th, 31st, it still wasn't there. Finally, it showed up on Thursday, yesterday morning. It finally showed up in the account. But then, I can't just take the money out of that account. I have to ask permission. I have to ask them if they will slide that money over into my regular banking account. Do you mind if you take my money? Now, it's not invested. There's no government tax laws involved here. It's nothing like that. It literally is just a deal that this company and my employers, ex-employers, set up. Somebody got some money out of this, I'm sure. And you say, please, give me this money, and then they will try to talk you out of it. Oh, you really should invest it, and you should do this, and you should do. I've already invested a crap load of the money I got from my buyout. This was my mad money. This is my mad train money. So now it's just buying trains. I don't know if Whitewall Wheels is here. George, if you're in the background. No, I keep my sideburns right to the jawline up here. I should follow the chat one. But anyhow, so yeah, that money is being transferred. It's not officially in my bank account, but it'll be there Monday. So I've been scouting for trains. But I did buy that Beatles singles train, the one that had the Class 71 locomotive in 2 cars. I did buy that one. I actually got it for cheaper than I was finding it in the UK. I found it somewhere else. Malta. I found it in Malta, which uses the pound. And shipping was actually cheaper than it would have been from the UK. So I actually getting it for cheaper than I would have from the UK place I was looking at. Hey, there's Stefan from the Caretaker Garage. Skull. I don't know. This isn't the right stuff to be giving a Viking salute with. Almost UK. Malta is a very amazing country. I think it's one of those countries that maybe is somewhere on my bucket list to visit. It is a crossroads of so many cultures and it's a tiny little island in the middle of the Mediterranean, and yet it's been so important throughout world history, or at least Western history. And I'm not talking the Maltese Falcon from the movie. But anyhow, so let's get some trains running, and then I can continue babbling on. So let's go to the 11-lane view and show you what we're running today. We are running the Railjet. We are running the Railjet. We are running the ICE-4. We're running above that the IC-2, the Class 146.5 locomotive there in white with the red stripe, which of course the ICE-4 is white with a red stripe too, but that's not a locomotive. Behind that, you'll see we have the Metronome, and then we're doing double-decker Regiobahn commuter traffic double-decker cars. Those are being pushed, the red cars are being pushed by the class, the Skoda class. It's a Skoda E109, but it's in Deutsche Bahn as a 102. And then way in the back, we're doing that Lint class 648. It's Lint class 41, but in Deutsche Bahn nomenclature, it's a 648 DMU. So let's get these guys into action. We'll get them taken off. Just hope I got everybody going the right way. Yeah, because he's going, and I know Jean Ricard's going, you said the right way, and he's going locomotive first. This one's going locomotive first. Oh, I got to turn their lights on. And then, bear with me for a second, I got to go over here. Whoops, no, not that fast. I like that fast. And then I'll go to the multi-view here once I get everybody else moving. Come on, you could do it. There we go. All right, so let's go to the multi-view, and I will finally catch up with chat, and I'll try to go to the smaller views. Well, hello, James from Dundas Junction Model Railroad, and Rick and Pauline. Nice to have you here. Oh, I got 2 more trains to get started. If I can get rid of all this recyclable and not recyclable stuff here. Now, are you going to run nicely today? I'll try to keep an ear out for that. Let me show you what's on the floor today. We did change one of the trains out because I was tired of it being a pain in the butt. But on the floor cam, we are running the Mallard and the Azuma, my 2 favorite UK trains. The Mallard locomotive with 3 teak cars and that Azuma. Let me slow that Azuma down a bit. Okay, so there we go. 12 cameras, 8 trains, because I'm a madman. There we go. Well, hello, Heath. Pleasant surprise. Thanks for dropping in. Need to get back to work. So he came in, said hello to everybody, and left. Yes, I definitely could see getting the Javelin. I also would like a TPE, either with a Class 68 and those beautiful Mark 5 coaches that are all sold out. Although I could still get the Daypole Class 68. Or I wouldn't mind getting it in an 802 form, because Joyce and I actually rode the Trans-Pennine Express on an 802. But yes, the Javelin 395 is gorgeous. It's gorgeous! So now Steve's up to 38,000 feet. Or 34,000 feet. Where are you off to? I'm sure somebody else asked earlier, but I didn't see it. I will need a bigger layout. Yeah, but it's easy to switch out trains, usually. Kyan even helped me pick up trains yesterday. He was very careful. I was like, okay, you can pick this one up. And he was carrying the coach over so I could put it on the shelf. Okay, go get me the next one. Do I have room for a shed? No, I could not do. I would have absolutely no backyard if I tried to do Island Shed. Actually, I couldn't even do Island Shed because my backyard, my backyard is about 35 feet long and Island Shed's 40. At that point, I would just have to build it as an extension to my house, but I should do that one day, is do a little video of my house and how it would all connect. Oh, you're going home to Minneapolis from Orlando. Okay. Looking forward to a quiet weekend. I'm actually, after all the stuff. Now, the other stuff is I was on Artie's live stream, co-hosting Saturday, and bemoaning my lack of motivation to work on the Fowler car system. And people threw out the same usual suggestions. But I have finally come up with a plan I think I'm happy with. As long as the stuff which is supposed to arrive today works. But now it's just building up, because in the end, my Fowler car issue is a courage thing. There's a little bit of laziness involved, but really it's courage. I had the Fowler car system working beautifully, and then I messed with it, and then I destroyed, and I think I just fried everything. And I've tried to fix it on 3 separate occasions. So the time where I tried to change it over, and then 3 separate occasions where I spent a weekend, easily 12, 16 hours over a weekend, just laying on my back under the table, changing the wires, changing motors, changing the reed sensors, trying to get things to work, and having them not work. I don't handle certain failures very well. I can handle 1 or 2 setbacks, but 3 or 4, I get very too emotional to the point where I just want to quit. And that's probably not a great thing. It's okay, to have a problem over here, or this train's not working today or that. But when it's the same thing over and over again, you hit a point where it's scary to want to work on it again, because what if it fails again? Uh-oh, we've got some more banter.
Hey, Ray Bertelson. Now, you've been here before, and I've knighted you before. At least I swear I have. So let's do that now. I now declare you a knight of the rhomboid table. But there, Ray, now you can post links to your channel and other people's channels if you want. We just ask that you keep it to model trains or comedy related. You know, no links to hentai sites and stuff like that. And if you're sitting there going, what's hentai? Don't Google it. If you know what hentai is, pervert. Well, you don't have so much of a sword as a spanner. The Knights of the Rhomboid Table are various specialists at fixing whatever they fix. It's not a monkey wrench, it's a human wrench. You got the Siemens charger. I was actually looking at a Siemens charger for somebody recently. Yes, Digger, I do. But I fly my freak flag proudly. But I've got several, let's see, what all do I, I will wind up doing a review video on the newest train that is coming to my layout on Monday, if not tomorrow. There's a chance it could be here tomorrow. And James shakes his head and deposits drool on the ceiling. Wow, I've got 45 in here already? Man. I remember the days when I was glad I had 30, and now all of a sudden it's breaking 40 consistently. Viewers. Wow. I'm going to have to start doing something with all these people. When it was only 5 or 10 people, I didn't feel like I had to truly entertain them, but now. Andy's been kind of quiet. Is he still in the background? Hope you're okay, Andy. If you're not okay, I'm sorry. But let's go ahead and scope out some of the views. Nobody's on that side of the table right now. Now that guy's going up. We can do an up the ramp and catch this guy coming up the ramp. And the railjet will be coming up after him. Oh, that reminds me. I did not turn his lights on. Okay, that looks like your lights are on. Yep. Okay, and you have the red lights going? Yes, you do. Okay. So all good. All good. You can see that. The village view. That's where you'll see the most houses, because that's my basic plan for Delmenhorst, although some of it's going to change. Well, there he is. Hey, Andy. Well, like I said, I hope you're doing all right. If you're quiet, hey, it's a quiet day. No problems. And
Who else I wanted to mention? It was nice to see Steve the Plumber doing a live feed on Wednesday. I popped into a live feed. I don't usually pop in because Wednesday evening is one of those nights I take off from YouTube usually. But I knew Steve the Plumber was going to host Cab Crew Wednesday, so I went into Cab Crew Wednesday to watch. Well, hello, Mark Ireland. Welcome in. You've got a video coming out in a few hours, and you post on your other channel, and then you just posted a video here before I went live that I'll have to catch up with. A lot of people like this view. What I need, this is an El Cheapo camera. It's an El Cheapo. So what I really need is to get one of the better cameras and put it there. Like, you look at the clarity between the camera I'm on and the camera below, just the pixelation, for lack of a better term, the clarity of the video. And that is a 1080p camera, but and it really picks up the colors well, but it's just not as clean as this camera because it's one of those El Cheapos. Hey, Bernie's here. How are you, Bernie? That is one thing I want to do today. I'll do it in a little bit. Maybe I'll do it. I'll do one thing next week. I've got the GoPro, and what I thought I'd do is walk around with my GoPro and show you some close-ups of the layout. But I think I will plan it out with the microphone and do that next week. I'm not going to put the GoPro on... Well, I could put the GoPro on the IC2 because it seems to handle it fine. But I don't want to put it on the Railjet. This is a lot of weight, and the Railjet's already pulling a lot. You're going rather slow for some reason. Let's speed you up a bit. Come on, you can do it. Yeah, that's interesting. By any chance, does he have shunter mode on? Okay. Looks good that way. Mark Ireland, how big is the layout? Well, let's go to the layout map and show you. GoPro layout map view. Okay, so here's the layout. Now, I am sitting facing technically upwards, even though I'm facing at you. I'm facing upwards. Okay, so that long run along the top, that is 22 feet, almost 23 feet. And then that side is an 8-foot wide by 12.5-foot deep table. And the other side, that is an 11.5-foot by 11.5-foot deep by 8-foot wide table. And then in the middle is 2.5 feet deep by 6 feet wide. So you got 8 feet wide, 6 feet wide, 8 feet wide. That's 22 feet, plus there's a little fiddle yard parking area beyond that, which is another 2.5 feet. But the main run there is just over 22 feet. And then I have 3 lanes that run. I do nothing prototypical in terms of the track runs. I just, you know, to defend myself, I'll call rule 1. But I do have basically ADD, and I just like watching the trains go in circles. I don't need them being controlled or digitized. I think it's awesome, the channels that do it. I think it's amazing and really cool. It's just not something that I was savvy with when I got into trains. It's not something I really need. I just like to let them run in circles. And that's the funny thing about the cameras is I didn't. Now, I have definitely added way too many cameras over the years. I've added way too many cameras over the years. But originally, I just had multiple cameras for me. I would sit here and watch my trains, but then I had cameras on the corners so I could catch my trains from different angles that I couldn't see walking around my layout, or that I could see here. And then when I started live streaming, it just became an addiction. And now I run 12 cameras, although when I had the GoPro, it's 13 cameras. Yeah, Pierre, I have been adding my, that's what I checked, EFO, but it's not. I don't know, it may not like pushing very much. But, let me stop it for a second. But yeah, for whatever reason, it's running slow. Huh, interesting. It started up a little faster that time. It was running fine yesterday when Kyan and I were testing everything. Ah, well, there's always something, isn't there? I mean, I am running it at a slow speed, but it should be pushing a little faster than it is. I bet if I make it go the other way, it'll run better. I have a hunch it just doesn't like pushing as much as it likes pulling. But yeah, so yeah, the cameras became an addiction. Hey, George, how are you? From Florida Railroad Dog. Nice to have you here. But it's the nice thing when you stick a camera in. And again, I got the idea of multiple cameras from, I think it was Jason at Barnabas Junction. When I joined his page, when I joined his channel 4 years ago, however long ago it was, maybe going on 5 years ago, he started having multiple cameras up. And I thought that was so cool. He's got a camera from behind the station so he could see things coming in and out of his station. He's got a camera up here so he could kind of see the whole thing. And I just thought that was so cool. So I immediately went out and bought a couple of cameras. And this is before I was live streaming. And when I started live streaming, I think I had 4 or 5 cameras. And then I just kept adding and adding and adding and adding. But it is funny because other channels are adding more and more cameras too. Yeah, but the nice thing is, Robert, I am hardwired into my internet, and I get fast broadband. I have 400 down and 100 up. 400 Mbps, millibytes per second. I download at 400 and I upload at 100. So yeah, I can do this easily with my internet. That's why one of the first videos I ever did about OBS, I was talking about the first thing you have to check is when you're going to use OBS, you need to know the quality of your
uploading ability. You need to know a solid. And plus, on top of that, I am hardwired as opposed to using the Wi-Fi. I don't know if I'm a trendsetter or not. I wasn't the first to do multiple cameras. It's just, I'm going to say this jokingly. I know Heath is now trying to catch up with me, but I don't think that's really in his head if he's listening in the background. It's a joke I make because he's gone from 2, 4, and now I think he's up to like 7 or 8 cameras. But if you're trying to watch this on a phone, this is horrible because they're just so small to see anything. Yeah, and hardwire makes a big difference right there because it's consistent. Hardwire doesn't fluctuate the way your Wi-Fi signal through your router will. And I'm lucky, and I use that word a lot about me. I'm lucky. I'm in my basement, and where our cable company runs the internet and the Wi-Fi is right here. So the main box is right here. So it's easy to drop a line from the wall straight down to my computer. I also have a straight line from the main box, the main internet box, to my Central Station 3. So it's hardwired in, and they each have their own addresses, which every now and then get changed. Whenever we have a power outage and they reboot stuff, it changes the address. And that doesn't affect anything except when I'm trying to use my Central Station 3 on my computer because it needs the internet address of my Central Station 3. It needs the URL. And if it gets changed, I only know it when I go to click it in and it starts spinning circles and says, this URL cannot be connected. And then I look at my Central Station 3 and go, oh, the URL is different again. Hey, Robert. But I am in no way an OBS guru. I just got it to this stage and stopped. I know, talking to a friend that's connected to people with OBS, and I use the term friend loosely, just somebody I know and talk to a lot about computer stuff, is that OBS is working on a way that you can log into OBS and have. But again, OBS versus StreamYard, these are two different beasts. Everybody thinks of them as the same thing. They're not. StreamYard is meant for meetings. And yes, you can live stream with it and do it, but it's not a studio. It's not designed for creating a multi-camera, big fancy show, although they're trying to upgrade that way. Just as OBS is now trying, because they're realizing people want something that does both. It would be cool to pop somebody up next to me on screen. Anyhow, somebody was... a cable plugged into mine. Yeah, I will see... I will see what we can do about that. Sir, why do you have 5,000 miles of cable? Just let me put it on a spool and hang it out the window. And as we fly across. Of course, it's going to be interesting everywhere it falls and catches.
Yeah, and Leslie, that is a German problem and a UK problem, and in some parts of the US it can be a problem. You guys, your houses are built for winters. Your houses are built for winter. You guys live in colder climates than even here in Toledo. I am amazed at. I watched over the years in Germany as new houses are being built, and the walls are cement blocks in Germany to support the weight of the heavy roofs, to support the weight of the snows and everything else. Their walls are cement blocks. Our walls are 2x4s with drywall sheets on it. But if you get an old house where it's half an inch of plaster or mud on good old-fashioned hardwood, real 2x4, where it's really 2x4 and not 1.5 by 3 1/4. Old hardwood, those houses have internet signal issues with router boxes because, yeah, it's tough to go through those walls. So, Joyce and I, we have stayed in places in both Germany and the UK where they advertise great Wi-Fi. If you're not sitting by the window, forget it. Because going through those floors and going through those hard, fat walls, forget it. I tried to live stream several times from the UK last year, just not so I wouldn't break my stream. Now, one of them only lasted about 45 minutes because the internet was so bad and it kept dropping. But when I'm in Germany this year, I will do my Friday live streams from Germany. Maybe I'll even do them on StreamYard. And that way I can just pull people up and talk because I won't have my trains going. So I'll do it as a StreamYard, which actually is what I did from the UK anyhow. Yeah. But, yeah, it's not only that your house is 100 years old, which, of course, even by UK standards and Germany standards, isn't necessarily that old a house, but it's still an old house. This house is 60 years old. And I've had fun as I have had to remodel different parts of this house. Even this basement had some challenges to it. You could end up below the signal cone. You had a lot, Chris says you had a lot of boosters. See, I can imagine that, Chris. I really can imagine that. Yeah, Leslie, and that's so true. Yeah, and literally, unless you get some sort of fancy router box that picks up the great signal and then can hardwire and run a wire to where you're at. Loft, it might be feasible. You might have, I did this in this house. My son was in a back corner room in this house that probably gets the worst Wi-Fi signal, and it also gets the sun. It was the hottest room. And he did online gaming with friends. I mean, he had the big 3-4 monitors set up in his room and all this stuff. But the Wi-Fi signal was bad, and we started with a Wi-Fi booster, and that still wasn't it. So what we did was I ran a cable. We had a drop ceiling at the time where you could move the panels, and I ran a cable from where the internet comes in from their modem. I ran a SATA cable above the drop ceiling, and then I drilled a small hole in his closet, the floor of his closet. Just found the back corner, drilled a hole, went into this room behind me here, shoved the cord up into it. He grabbed the cord, plugged it into the back of his computer, no problem. And then when my son-in-law and daughter lived with us temporarily while they were out of their apartment and looking for a house,
they moved in and were living in that bedroom, they did the same thing. They just took that cord and plugged it into their computer so that they had consistent Wi-Fi. Hey, we woke up Artie finally. Hey, Artie, how you doing? Hey, Forever DC is here. Nice to have you here, sir. Although, are you going to change your name? Because apparently you're looking at some DCC stuff. Found a steam engine pedestal below his floor. That's interesting. Yeah, and again, it's one thing to drill through a 1-inch plywood floor. And then the flooring, actually, I don't even know if it's 1 inch. It was probably half an inch OSB board, floorboarding. And then it is natural hardwood floor, but it's probably half an inch of that. So yeah, it's probably about an inch of wood and OSB board, and just drilled through it. And it's easily hidden and plugged with wood filler should we ever leave this house. But as it is, Joyce and I are in this house until we can't live in this house, whatever that cause may be. But Joyce and I are in this. We're not going to sell this house and move somewhere else. Every now and then we talk about it, and then we just decide the hassle, the packing. Because sometimes I get sick of this house. Because by American standards, it's a small house. The basement is half the house. Now, by European standards, it's a medium to bigger house. But by American standards, we're the smallest house in our neighborhood, and this is not a rich neighborhood. This is a middle class to upper middle class neighborhood. Hello, George. How are you? The house 3 doors up. I'm not moving to Australia. I'm sorry, Artie. I may visit it, but I'm not moving. If Joyce and I were to ever move, we would probably either just stay somewhere in Toledo and try to get a bigger house and hope that my remodeling skills haven't deteriorated. Because you can buy glorious old houses in this old historic district of Toledo called Old West End. People buy them at $10,000, put about $400,000 of repair on them, and they're worth $400,000 to $500,000 or more. You don't always get your money back, but these are mansions. That was the wealthiest part of Toledo at the turn of the 19th to 20th century. That was the elite section of Toledo. And then white flight and everything took place, and everybody abandoned that part of the city, and they moved on to the suburbs. And so those mansions got turned into quadruplexes, duplexes, quadruplexes. And then in the 70s, the gay community moved into that area. And then the art community quickly followed, and they began buying these houses for cheap and fixing them up because gay couples were having trouble buying houses in the rest of Toledo because of the bigotry towards gay. And so they started buying the Old West End because the real estate people just wanted these $5,000-$6,000 pieces of junk off their hands. And the gay and artistic community bought these houses and restored them. And now it's a major festival in Toledo to walk through the Old West End and look at all the glorious houses that have been restored to their Victorian beauty. And it's still one of the hearts of the LGBTQ so on community, as well as the artistic community in Toledo. And the funny thing is, you can walk through it and you'll see beautiful mansion, beautiful mansion, beautiful mansion, rat-infested doper house, abandoned lot,
beautiful mansion, because they just wait for somebody to buy this next house and fix them up. I almost did. My daughter was looking at a house and it was $8,000. It was a 10-bedroom, 6-bathroom superstar mansion, but it needed at least $100,000 in foundation work alone, and then the main floor needed another $50,000 in wood support work just to make it viable, and then the roof would have been another $80,000 job just to start on the interior. But the bathrooms were good. I could have made money ripping all the tiling out of the bathroom. It had gold-plated tiling. The tiles, each tile was worth $25, and there were hundreds and hundreds of these tiles in 4 of the bathrooms. And I mean, literally, we looked online. They were worth $25 to $50 each per tile, if you can get them off the wall safely. Yeah, but that's the problem, Artie. Joyce and I like snow. Joyce and I do like snow. We have not gotten tired of snow. Joyce and I like snow. We are very fond of snow, and we would never live someplace that didn't get snow in the winter. Joyce and I could never live in the southern United States. And if we were to change countries, if Joyce and I were to move countries, it had always been Germany, but now Joyce, this is a completely non-happening hypothetical. But Joyce fell in love with the city of Cardiff. Joyce fell for the city of Cardiff hard. I have shown Joyce many beautiful cities, Dresden, some beautiful towns in Germany that she loves. There's a little town east of Dresden called Pirna that she loves. But Joyce fell for Cardiff hard. Oh my God. Your daughter lives in Cardiff. Joyce just fell in love with the river, the bay, the seaside, the look of the town, the getting around the town. I have never seen Joyce fall that hard for a city. That was the first city where Joyce looked at me and said, I could live here. But we would never move that far away as long as if Joyce and I were to move, our entire family would have to come with us. Our 3 kids, the in-laws, the grandchildren would have to come with us, because there's no way Joyce is going to be that far away from her grandbabies. Even though we only have 1 now, more will be coming, we assume. Hey, Rick, there's Rick. Nice to have you here. Now, Rick, I will say this. After our talk last Saturday, I have come up with an idea for the Fowler car system, and I've ordered some stuff that is supposed to be in the mail today. I don't know if I'll start working on it, but the motivation to work on it is building heavily. I've got a plan. I just got to sort out the curves, the best way to do the curves. But otherwise, I'm not going to do the track. I'm just going to do something else. I'm trying to decide the best way to do it. But I want to use the Bush road tape over the top, and even if it's just get some real thin basswood or balsa wood and put the wire or the tape just embedded slightly into it. But I got to figure out how to do the curves. The Chippy Alley, yeah. Well, there's a bad part of town and bad food places everywhere. But every city has a beautiful part to it, and then has a part you maybe don't want to go to. But Joyce has been to, I don't know how many cities in Germany now, 50, 60. And we've been to multiple cities in the UK. And the first time Joyce fell in love with a place in Germany, because Joyce likes going to Germany, but she doesn't love Germany the way I do. She loves the mountains in the south. She loves there. But the first time she fell in love with a part of Germany was when we went to Dresden for the first time. I think it was 2014. And we lived in a little town called Pirna. And she fell in love with that whole region. The area called Saxon Switzerland, Saxon Switzerland. Everybody thinks it's Switzerland, but no, it's the Saxony part of Germany, and then into the Czech Republic, a little bit into Poland, but it's called Sax Switzerland, the Sächsische Schweiz. And she just fell in love with the river, the Elbe, the forest, the sandstone and limestone hills, the Ore Mountains, as they're called, the Erzgebirge, and the city of Dresden was pretty enough for her, but she fell in love with the town of Pirna and the region around Pirna, and that was the first time she really said, I could live here. And then Cardiff happened. Yeah, the problem is I don't respond well to "you can do it." That's Joyce's biggest thing. Whenever there's a big project and I'm like, we need to call in pros to do this, she looks at me, honey, and she bats those big brown eyes and wiggles certain things. You can do it. We don't need to hire a pro. You know how to do it. We'll save all this money if you do it. And then I find myself completely remodeling a bathroom or a basement or a kitchen. And yeah, I can do. The only thing I won't touch is gas plumbing. I will not touch gas, and by law you can't. Unless you're licensed, you can't. Technically, you're not supposed to touch electrical unless you're licensed. And I have called in electricians when I couldn't figure something out. When I was redoing the basement, I found junction boxes and I found wires, and I'm trying to trace where they go and what they lead to, and wires that are going through all sorts of weird places. And I call an electrician, and the electrician's going, it took him 2 hours to figure it out. And I'm like, okay, I don't feel like an idiot. My dad was an electrician, and I learned home wiring. But I also learned home plumbing, and I learned painting, and I learned drywalling, because my mom is a master room painter, and my mom and dad are master drywallers. And I learned all those, and I'm glad that I have the knowledge, because I have fixed many a wall that was broken. Oh, I'm sorry, I meant to show that more today, but let's go down to the floor cam. There we go. I'm running the Azuma. And I did listen to the criticism last week from a couple of UK guys. I think I've got them running the correct way now. Or are they still running the wrong way? Because I definitely changed the direction. I don't know. You guys can complain and tell me. Hey, Raymond, how are you? No such thing as late to a live stream, especially this live stream. This live stream is just lather, rinse, repeat. This live stream pretty much is the same each week, unless I have something new to show, and even then, you can skip to that 10-minute segment at the beginning and skip it. I run some trains. I babble for 2.5 hours or so. Last week, people it was the first time UKers were complaining, and I defend myself. They are in America, so they have to follow American rail line rules, okay? But just to appease my UK fans, I switched them, and now they're running the correct UK way. But man, I love that Azuma. And I did something, and I'm going to do it here in a minute. I just got to set it all up. But Kyan was here, and he noticed that the lights were on one of my trains. He noticed the lights were on one of my trains. So he got all excited. Lights, 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 lights. And so I said, okay, well, hang on a second. So I went over to the wall switch and I turned off the lights and let him see that a couple of the trains had lighting on board. And he was super excited by that. So then I said, well, kid, there's a lot more lights on this layout. So I turned the lights out and I turned all the lights on my layout that I have. Oh, Kyan was excited. He kept wanting me to turn everything off and turn the lights on. So I thought, for the heck of it, I'll do this. You guys have seen it before, but it's been a little while, so I will. But the thing is, when we turn the lights off, I noticed that the Azuma actually has working lights on it. I didn't know it had working lights. The first time I ran it, I thought it looked like they lit up, but I couldn't tell. But turning all the lights out, the Azuma has working lights, so I was quite excited about that. So let's see what I can plug in here. Somewhere there's a plug. That one. The only thing I don't have is batteries for that one, darn it. Yeah, that's on. And then, whoops, don't want to knock that over. And that's on. Okay, and now everybody has their lights on. So I just need to find one of those special batteries. Talk amongst yourselves. I'm just looking for special batteries. Do I have one of them in here? Yes, I do. Yay. Okay. Hopefully this battery still works. It's an old one. Okay. So there's that. Well, we'll see what's working. Ooh, spooky! Let's do a couple of the big views. There's the village view. Hey, Edward, how are you? Nice to have you here. Chesty trains. That sounds like a very, very interesting. Now, I just got to find all the batteries. I don't leave batteries in the devices. But right now, most of my lighting system are the pole lights lit up. That battery might be dead. Then again, I think one of the wires got cut. But yeah, I made sure all the trains I was running today had lights on them. So now let me go. That's okay. That's village view. Let's do up the ramp. I like this shot. Just where you see the train light in the distance. Of course, you get a lot of light bleed out onto the buildings passing, which we wouldn't have in real life, but that doesn't really bother me. I mean, you can dim those down. Actually,
you'd have to mess with them to dim them down. But there's that ICE4 going. Oh, that's beautiful. God, I love that ICE4. Excuse me while I wipe up some drool there. The red light district is hidden. It's the infrared light district. Of course, with the camera, I think these show up a little brighter than they... Looking on the camera, they look a lot brighter on camera than they do live. You can see I actually have some passengers on some of these. And then let's see, that's the Joyce view. Yeah, that really doesn't show much. The Bremen corner view doesn't show much. And then the long view. Now, except for the Delmenhorst station, this is all temporary lighting. The Delmenhorst station is permanent lighting. It's still too cold. Yeah, I hear you. Again, that's where I always say I'm lucky. I'm in a climate-controlled basement. There ain't no disco on this one. Edward, I was in my influential teenage years during disco, and I hated disco with a passion. And anything to this day that sounds like disco, I despise. And I'm not big. I love techno rock and some techno pop, but the techno dance music, ugh. Club music, ugh. I'm a rock and roller. My apologies to all of you. I will not name names, but many of you do put out videos where you have some dance club music, and I have to mute it to watch the video. I do watch the video, but I will mute it because I'm like, oh my God, I can't stand that music. The 11 lane really gets some cool views when all the trains are there. That's got to focus now. Ah, there it goes. You're a 12-bar blues guy? I can do some blues, especially 12-bar blues. But deep down, I'm a rocker. And there's the Azuma. Now, the coolest thing on my layout, which I highlight all the time, but I can't really show you. I have no easy way to show this to you unless I did the GoPro. And even then, I'd have to lean and reach. I don't know, will this work? Let me try this real quick. You don't have, or do you have? Yeah, I don't know if it'll show up, especially with Shaky Hands McGee. Oh, you can't really see it, darn it. I don't want to mess this camera up. Yeah. Yeah, they're not going to show up. Sorry. The coolest thing on my layout, which technically is not working right now because the URL got changed again and I have to go in and reprogram them, is I've got two, let's see, can I go to the village view? What's the best one? Village view? You can kind of see them. If you look at the bus station, which is in the foreground, you can see right in the middle, you can see some lit up signage. And that's the actual bus and train routes for the Delmenhorst station and bus center. A guy named Dale Schultz designed that and programmed it up for me. I just have to reinstall everything, but there's more of a trick to it than that. You know, when do we... I swear at least every other live stream we get talking about music because of me. See, in the multi-view, I think it's a little harder to follow. So that's why I try to do the bigger views with this when I do it. Totally dark there at the 11-lane view. But like that little bit there, that is all lit up with what in the UK you call micro fairy lights. In the United States, we just call them fairy lights. And they're perfectly spaced. They're at the perfect light temperature. They're not too bright. They're not too dark. They're not too warm. They're just fairy lights. And the line runs up in the ceiling of the canopy and then down a drain spout below the platform. And then because it's temporary, it runs under the track. If you've ever seen white tape across my track, that's protecting the wires to the control. Hawkwind never made it big in the US, although there definitely is a fan base for Hawkwind. The Railjet's gonna say, I'm blocking your view, dudes. Check me out. Oh, look at that beautiful Railjet. Because that's the other thing I'm happy about. You may have remembered a couple of weeks ago when I was running the Railjet, I said the lights weren't working. And I finally messed with it and I found out why the lights weren't working. Because the contacts and the way they're designed is kind of weird. Evo might know what I'm talking about. They had worn away a bit and had curled up and were no longer making contact with the axles. So I just added a little bit of extra metal, same metal, and now they're working fine. I just added the same thing. I pulled off an old locomotive car that I don't have, and I just put it on. Fit perfectly, and they're all lit up again. Oh, look at that ICE floor. That is such a beauty. All right, I'm going to turn the lights back on for a little bit, and then if you guys like, I'll turn them off again later. But that's one of the little things I'm kind of proud of. It's jury-rigged lighting. I used, I was looking at lighting kits, and they were so expensive, because when I first got into the hobby, I didn't have a lot of money, and when I decided to build the Dominor station, I just looked at, and I was like, I can get 50 foot of fairy lights for $6 at Michael's shop. And all I got to do is cut it to length, and I can do a whole house with just have a strip and one light goes into each room. I can either tape it to the ceiling and I can deaden or blacken out a light in case it was too long a space and two lights would be in the room and I only wanted one. And it's just really cheap and really effective lighting. It looks really good everywhere. All right, Mark Ireland, thank you for stopping in. I'm looking forward to your new video tomorrow. And I bought from the UK, from a shop in the UK, I bought those LED lights to light up my Czech EC coaches and my German IC1 coaches, and I haven't installed them yet. I got the LED strips, I got the magic wand and the resistors and everything. I just never sat down to do it, partly because the EC cars were hard to get into. Yeah, let me was lead singer of Motorhead. Love Motorhead. Uh-oh, I might get mentioned again. Now I'm worried. Man, you know, I don't want to, you know, it's my personality, and I can't, I mean, I suppose I could help it if I made myself conscious of it, but I don't think it's, you know, I'm always very positive towards people. Hey, great job, good thing. But I don't do it insincerely. And literally, Rick and Pauline, on your videos, it reminds me of how much I missed going to toy shows. I love going to toy shows. Because when I was a kid, we didn't get a lot of toys. We got some, but we didn't get a lot. And there was always toys I wanted. Oh, we can't afford that. We can't have that. We don't have room for that. And I just love to vicarious. And now that I'm into trains, I used to always ignore the model train guys at train shows. But since I've started live streaming and talking to everybody and following what they like, I now see trains in a different way. And now I can go to toy shows and train shows and just go, oh, that's cool. Even if I don't want to buy it, I can just look at it and go, oh, that's really cool. I really like that. That's really cool. I really like that. But I do miss going to toy shows. I used to buy toys and give them to my kids or fix them up and resell them. I used to buy old electronic footballs or electric footballs. UK guys wouldn't know that, but most of you Americans probably remember the old vibrating boards. I would buy air hockey tables and fix the motors in them so that they blew again, and I would sell that stuff. I'd fix it up or try to trade it for something I did want. Hey, John Dawson's here. Thanks for stopping in. Before you get back to work. But, yeah, so, I do love those videos. I mean, Leslie put up a video today at a train show, and just staring at those layouts, I'm just like, I'm so jealous. I'm glad Leslie films them in ultra high definition, because if I can't be there, at least his videos make it feel like I'm there. Beautiful stuff. So when all of you guys go, Heath going through the Amherst train show. Now, 3 years ago, just 3 years ago, I would have gone to a show as big as Amherst and been bored out of my mind and thought, now I would go to Amherst and be really excited, even if I didn't find German stuff, because I would find some German stuff. There's always a guy who's got some Lima Deutsche Bahn cars or some Roco stuff or some old Pico, some old Märklin. I'll always find somebody that's got a little bit. But now I can go and look at the tables and appreciate the beauty of the models. Like, wow, look at these Chesapeake and Ohio coaches. These are beautiful. Look at these Pennsylvania Railroad. These are beautiful. Look at this New York Central. I've seen New York Central, I think it was, in N gauge, N scale, at the Toledo Train Show last year. And they were so beautiful. They were black and silver. Oh my goodness, those were such beautiful coaches, passenger coaches. And I would never buy them, but man, they're beautiful. Hey, Stuart, how are you? But, yeah, I just, you know, my attitude is always, if somebody took the time to post something and I watched it, I'm going to take the time to thank them and say, hey, that was cool. And it's not disingenuous. It's just, it's how I am. I'm that, towards other people, I'm that positive. Towards myself, I'm the exact opposite. I'm very negative towards myself. Which is why I like it when people do comment. So when you guys, when I turn the lights out here and you look at the lights and people are like, whoa, that's cool. I'm like, oh, good. You know, it could have sucked, but you guys said it was good. Yeah, those strikes. Oh my goodness, strikes, and they just don't get them sorted. And that's the other thing I won't do. I will never post anything that could be even considered a criticism. I won't even offer advice. Because one time a guy in a video asked for advice, and I said, well, you could do this, and then he got very snippy, and I unsubscribed from his channel, got very snippy with me. I wasn't asking for your advice. I can point to the minute mark where you specifically said, if any watchers have an idea on this, but okay, whatever. And I was out. Great modeler, great layouts, loved his channel, but yeah, you know, if you kind of spit in my face, I'm not coming back. Ta-da! Phone beep. What's this? Who could this be? It's nothing important. Stupid apps. Hey, we got something we think you might be interested in. No, you don't. But, you know, somebody posts a video and if you type in there, it was too dark. You know, it was what they could do. It's what they had. You know, so if it was too dark, stop watching it 20 seconds in, 30 seconds in, and walk away. Or scroll away. There's no reason to, you know, and that's the other thing is don't offer advice unless somebody asks for advice. And I'm very much on that one. You know, I remember a few years ago, Graham doing a couple of builds, Graham Folston at Lakeside, and he would do things and everybody would just, Graham, you're doing it wrong. You got to do it this way. And I would be just like, shut up and see where he gets. And then Graham does this amazing construction, boom. And he did a couple of videos early on where he got tired of the critics and kind of did a at the critics, or if you're in the UK, and at the critics, and said, you see, it works. It's exactly what I want it to be. And some people gave him chuff for that. And I was on his side. I was like, you tell him, go. Yeah, and Raymond, stuff like that. If that's what, you know, think about countries where no big company makes their model trains because they don't think there's a big enough market for it. And 3D printing is just such a great way. I mean, Artie's been 3D printing some gorgeous coaches that he's been designing on Tinkercad. And they're amazing. He prints them up, and once you paint them, yeah, they're plastic. They're not metal. They're not the hard plastic that you get from other model, you know, from the model companies. But once painted up and put in place, they look good. And hooray, because if nobody's going to make it yourself. If a company's not going to make it yourself. And 3D printing. Hey, Andrew from March West Junction. I saw you earlier and I forgot to say hi. My apologies, my friend. Nice to see you. And 3D printing is going to force a lot of companies to start adapting. And it should. Will it put some businesses out of business? Maybe. But, you know, you got Jumbo Lane and other people that were just modelers who started making stuff with their 3D printer. Bernie at Mini Prints just started making stuff with their printers. And people wanted it, and they started selling it. And then they bought another printer, and now they're a company. And so more power. And for me, that's what I do. I think I was showing this before. But all the lights, and I'll go large here. Let's go here. All the lights you saw are operated by this. These are little kits. It's 4.5 volt. In other words, I could splice a USB and plug these in on USB strips if I wanted to, the light systems, and I am considering doing that. But these are 4.5 volts, 3 1.5 volt batteries, and all the lights you saw lit up, there's the two that are to my station, the station platform and the bus station. And then the other one is wired down below with a battery. That's inside the station. And then on the other side, it's just another one of these black boxes. And that's what, and then fairy lights. But you guys watched on YouTube and you said, wow, that's cool. And this was 50 cents. I got a pack of 6 of them for $3, 50 cents. Amazon. The most expensive part of the whole system are the batteries. That's why I'm thinking of going to USB, because USB is 4.5 volts anyhow, so I really think I could grab some USB cable, splice them into it, and just get a USB port and plug them in. It'd be a lot easier to have a USB port here and just have them permanently plugged in instead of turning off the batteries and pulling the batteries out, because I don't like to leave the batteries in the devices. But enough of that. So let's watch the railjet go around. Hey, Kiwi Dave is back. Yeah, I will never, the only time I'll criticize a channel is if they criticize another channel. That's me. I don't criticize publicly. Now, offline, I have talked to some of you about some channels that I have had issues with, and you've talked to me about channels you've had issue with, and sometimes we've disagreed. But that's not online. That's not going public with it. Stuff like that, your issues with other channels, that just needs to be kept offline. Don't talk about other people, you know, and be careful. I had a friend online today talking to me on Facebook. He got what he considered a criticism on his channel. And he doesn't, you know, it's like, hey, it's the best I can do. And so he was talking to me about it because, you know, he figured I'd give him the pep talk and the cheer up talk. Which I do, you know. Hey, it's okay. It's all good. You're great. Oh, Stuart got his TPE coaches. Stuart, you want to send those to me, would you? Those would look nice running next to the Azuma. Hey, I'll make a deal with you. I'll buy the Daypole Class 68 to run down there, and you just send me those coaches. Seriously, I will tell you this, everybody. Joyce knows this too. When the money came in, when some of the money came in, when my Mad Trade money came in and some other stuff came up, I immediately went online and I tried to see if I could buy those TPE coaches, and they were sold out everywhere. I was going to buy them, especially when I saw the price. Because I'm like, do you know what a 5-car set of Miraklin coaches like that would cost? Almost double. Everything looks good behind a big boy. Yeah, what little static grass I have is it's a mat thing I bought. I will be someday when I'm 100% happy with this side and get the Fowler car system in here and get the concrete area paved over there, I will be static grassing. I will put all the static grass on my layout I can and smoke the rest. But literally, I did go online to all the UK shops that friends have told me. I started with Lords and Butler, and I went everywhere. I went to Hatton's. I started at the Acura Scale website. I was trying to buy them. So if somebody has a link where somebody has them at a good price, remember me, because I will probably turn around and buy them. Either... because I've also tried to find a Trans-Pennine Express Class 802 model, and I can't find that in 00. I would agree with that, Chris. I think our layouts are extensions of us inside, who we are, and each one is trying to capture something different. Each layout is trying to capture something different. You know, my layout is my love of riding trains in Germany and looking at trains out the window. And then the city of Delmenhorst, which I spent 14, 15 Junes in, where for the month of June, I lived in the city of Delmenhorst. And then while we lived in Delmenhorst, we went to other places. We went to Berlin for a couple of days. We went down, we had special trips each year. Some years we went to the Alps. Some years we went to the Rhine River for 4 days. Some years we went to the city of Dresden. So that was the 3 trips. And then we had day trips where we, up to 3-hour train rides to a place and back to learn German history and culture and stuff like that. But we lived in the city of Delmenhorst. And other than the 4 days on the special trip and the 3 days on Berlin, so we were there for 3 to 4 weeks, about 3.5 weeks. 2.5 weeks we lived in the city of Delmenhorst and always came back to Delmenhorst. Yeah, I just bought these because I wanted some grass down. And so I did that. Now that will peel up. That is stapled down. That is pinned down. So when I decide to do real static grass, I can rip that up and put in real static grass there. But I put it in to see if I liked the color, if it felt right. And I think I want a lighter green. I think I want a lighter green and obviously a little bit taller. But I won't even put, I definitely won't do 6mm grass. German grass, even in the wild, doesn't tend to grow that high. And if it is, it's in the forest, and I'm not doing forest, I'm doing city. So the grass is relatively short, even in the places where they don't cut the grass. I asked friends in Germany, the first trip we were in Germany, like, how often do you cut the grass? And they're like, twice a summer. I could do that too, Worthington. But like I said, I'm not thrilled with the color. And yes, if I put a second layer on, it would affect that. It would change that. But I will, once I get a true static grass applicator or make my own, I'm still debating, but I think I'll just buy one. Just because I've seen some people that have made their own and it works beautifully. Other people have done the exact same thing and it's failed miserably. Yeah, last week, I think it was, or the week before, I was showing my wish list. And you saw 2 different Noke Grassmasters. 3.0 Pro. One was 3.0 and one was 3.0 Profi, and asked the difference. Well, the one is 12 volt, and the other one is 16, goes up to 16 volt. You get a higher static charge. All right, Leslie, good night. I appreciate you hanging out. Hey, Raymond Anthony 127 came in. Hey, Raymond, I'm sorry I missed you. I apologize. Nice to have you here, my friend. The Chinese static generator versus the fly swatter. Those are a little harder to come by, but hey, it is what it is. Speaking of which, a certain wifey poo is late. Where is she? Yeah, I am, the biggest thing I'm waiting for is the Roku 218 is due in stock any day now. The Roku 218 is supposed to be off to the shops, and that's most likely my next purchase. Although Roku is also releasing a Hercules 223 in the Alex livery I'm going to buy. And that's supposed to be, they were supposed to be the end of January. Actually, the Roku 218 was supposed to be before Christmas, but they said now it's end of January into February. eBay or Alibaba. I keep trying to buy stuff on Alibaba, and then for some reason it just doesn't work. See, I turned those off. Let's unplug that. Ah. Let's unplug those. And unplug that. I think that's everything that was plugged in. Okay. Yeah, I do that. I keep buying trains, and I haven't worked on my layout or bought all the stuff I need to work on my layout. Seriously, one of the biggest holdups on my layout, the two biggest holdups. Number one, the Fowler car system. I need to get that in, and then I can pave that whole area, because that whole area in front of the train station is just one big paved area with some tree gardens built into the concrete. But I also need to find a way to make the Delmenhorst City Hall, the Rathaus, and the water tower that goes with it. And I started trying to design it on Tinkercad, and it's just too complex. And I'm just not that skilled a graphics designer to get all the little nooks and crannies. And I found a guy who did a 3D render of the Delmenhorst City Hall, Market Square, and the park. And he did it as a 3D render, which meant he had all the measurements. And I've got the ability to convert his 3D render into STL files to 3D print it, to break it up and print it. I know how to do that. And I emailed him and I said, name your price. He did it as a school project in his architectural college. And I said, dude, name your price. Send me I will pay, and then you send me, and he never responded. And I've sent 3 emails to the guy. I sent it to the college and said, I want to get in contact with this person. I am willing to buy your 3D render so I can 3D print it. Because he did a beautiful job of what I need to put here. And it's not that hard to convert his 3D measurements into HOSTL files to print. And this is the closest I've come to having what I need. Yeah, the new Fowler Neustadt, they've done Neustadt before, but yeah, they've redone it. It's gorgeous, but yeah, they want, I can get it for 160 bucks, but the official Fowler listing is 199 euros. But I can get it for 158 euros. So about 165, 170 bucks. Hi, Greg. Poly pipe and a transformer. I've heard that one too. Exactly. You got to understand the comparative scales. But I haven't done it in 3D printing, but I know how to do it. And if I don't, my daughter does. Yeah, and yes, Steve at Worthington Models. That's what some of these companies are going to have to do is start saying, we'll sell you the 3D renders. We'll sell you STL files, and you can print it yourself. And so they're going to have to do something to stay in business. And by doing it, they can still recoup the cost. They can start doing, some of the, because, for example, with the 4 major German model making companies, Kibri, Fowler, Fulmer, and Auhagen. They just rotate the same, small, medium, large stations. They all make a Bonn, but nobody makes a Dresden. Nobody makes a Hanover. Nobody makes a Bremen. And there are thousands of people that would love Bremen, the Bremen station on their layout. There are thousands of people that would love Hanover because I watch the YouTube channels and some people have Scotch built. Oh, should it be good? No, that's Irish built. No, Scratch built them. And it, if a college kid can do a 3D render, anybody can. But yeah, you definitely have to make sure you do comparative scales. Like this was done at 1/300, but that's just it. If you know it was done at 1/300, converting it to 1/87 is, in that form, is pretty basic. I sense the better half has shown up. Hey there. How are you? Did Andrew McDonald just email me something that's going to make Joyce angry?
What?
Hang on, I got to go to my email. Oh, that's not bad. That's a little pricey. The TPE coaches, 275 pounds, so about 300 bucks. When they came out, they were like the equivalent of 250, but they're all sold out. Yeah. So this is somebody capitalizing plus postage. Thank you, Andrew. I don't know if they ship to the United States. So anyhow, yeah, let's get you on board here. Let me go back to, I was showing off my night light setup. I've got, all my cars have the lights working. The ICE4 is running nicely. This is the stuff from McCarville. This is what he gave me for free.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I told you it was coming. And then that could be Adults Bookstore or somebody else. That is clearly the Squeaky Spring Hotel. But it also could have been the Ishi Crash before I redesigned it, because that's what the Ishi Crash originally looked like. Anyhow, let's get a camera on you. And then we will get you a mic so you can start saying hi to people. Yeah, that's not centered. That's, yeah. It's that Batman curve I keep putting on. All right, there you have a mic. Where do you want the mic?
That's fine.
Well, you want to use the mouse too, and I don't.
Yeah, hold it still so I can move it.
Hold it still. All right, God, you're down here 5 minutes and already bitching at me.
Oh, man.
Oh, wait, who said they need to go? All right, John Benicki's leaving. Take care. Hey, Jackie, hi there. Al from Layton Junction, welcome in. Nice to have you here.
Oh, well, not too far.
Hey, Jackie, how are you? There's no such thing as being late.
Hi, Happy Valley. Hi, Artie. Hi, March West. Hi, Tom.
Oh, and Dino left.
Hi, Mick.
Good night, Dino. Thanks for stopping in. I'm talking to the camera. Good night, Dino.
Yeah. Hi to anybody else? Hi, Ellen. Hey, Andy. Hi, Leah. Hi, Bernie. Yep. Hey, Joseph. Hi, Jackie.
Layton Junction's Al. Hey, Possum Bayou's here. Possum
that's
Bayou
right.
is Rusty.
Okay.
Eagle Creek is Ben.
So, hi, Ben and Rusty and Al, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Take care, John. Hi. Oh, who haven't I said? Hi, Sean. I know, I am too, really. I'm doing fine. I'm a little husky, but that's typical. Typical after teaching. My hair is very, very flat. There's absolutely no humidity out there at all. It's at 0.
Yeah.
So, hey, Worthington. Hi, Valley.
Normally somewhat feathery or curly
Hey,
hair
Midsummer.
is flat today.
Yeah.
No humidity.
It is all week.
Well, I mean, if you're a Kim Carnes fan, you like Husky.
Sure.
Betty Davis.
I know. God, the kids all
And
noticed.
she'll tease you.
My students
To
all
unease, yeah.
noticed my new glasses.
Oh, who's Bonnie Tyler was another raspy voice singer.
Yeah. Go way back. God, what was her name?
You're not thinking Janis Joplin, are you?
Yeah, I am.
Was Janis?
Janis Joplin was that, too.
I never thought of her as
So,
truly
hey,
a
Raymond.
raspy
Hey,
voice singer.
Jerry.
Hey,
Hi,
Boxcar
Raymond.
Jerry, how are you?
Again. So, and hi, if I missed you, I'm very sorry, but just hi to everybody. Oh, is Lindy in the stream with Kyan?
I have not seen them.
She hasn't said. Okay. You know, sometimes that boy goes to bed late and he stays up late. Anyway, no, I'm fine. Getting better slowly.
Oh, that was the debate. Robert from Robert's Train Set suggested that I could start my stream early. And since Edward is no longer streaming in front of me, I suppose I could go on at 3 o'clock.
Hi, Aaron. Oh, that sounds terrible.
Got a headache and had a fever earlier. Yuck, that's no good. Hey, Man
call
Shed
that the
Railroad.
flu.
Aaron, welcome in, Man Shed Railroad. Nice to have you here.
Yep. I'll be a waffles for dinner. Let's order in.
Say what?
I don't want waffles. Let's order in.
Okay, I figured. I don't even know why you put some on Friday. We always order in on Friday.
I don't. Let's order in.
Suppose we
Well, I
do
sorta
Jet's
switched
Pizza. We
it.
haven't done Jet's Pizza.
Oh,
in a
Jet's
while,
Pizza would be great.
so- Okay, bingo.
Okay. Yeah, they don't
Yeah,
make
they don't.
a lot of
I mean, it really
waffles.
is. It's just
Yeah.
Vaughn, and then there's all these other towns. I mean, most of them are actual cities, like the one that's Neustadt. That's an actual train station. There is a city in Germany, Neustadt.
Yeah.
They did Kale,
New City.
which I have a model of. Kehl, Kale.
Ah, okay. That would explain it.
And, you know, a couple of different companies have made versions of that one.
Stupid virus. Hi, Randall. Oh, stop
Don't turn off the lights. Joyce might take advantage. No, she has more decorum. I would be the one that if the lights went out would start acting naughty.
Yeah, no
Joyce
kidding.
would be, stop that! Stop that! And I'd be like,
No, well, yeah, I have it. I graded one set of packages. I got 2 more tests to go by. So I
no,
gotta grade
Joyce
them
would
home.
not come on earlier because Joyce
No, I'm
gets home
still
from
at work.
at 11 o'clock your time.
Yeah.
Joyce gets home from work, walks in the door sometime around 5 o'clock our time. So that wouldn't change. Joyce would not
You
be
know,
coming
I
on
am
earlier.
not a morning person, so in the afternoon I get everything ready for the next day.
So yeah,
And
her workday
sometimes I
ends
end
at
up talking to people.
your workday ends at roughly 3:30, but
Right.
you're grading,
Oh, we
you're
couldn't leave
prepping
till
for the next
3:30,
day,
Yeah, making copies. I made some copies today.
talking to all your friends.
Occasionally talking to coworkers. Talk to Carolyn a lot.
Notice how I said friends and she said coworkers.
Oh. Yeah.
Just not talking to your husband
Just kind of.
from 3:30 to 5. You're not talking to me.
Well, yeah, usually not, unless you text me.
Even then, you don't get back to me. I go, why didn't you get back to me? I figured I'd talk when we got home.
Oh my goodness, that's crazy. Get off of my phone.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we
So
haven't
hi,
seen
Raymond.
Lynn. I wonder
I've seen
where.
her. Yeah.
I don't know if she came in.
So.
And you said hi to Greg, right? Greg Midsummer Rail?
Hmm?
Okay.
I think so. I think so.
Would I do 2 hours? No, I wouldn't end it earlier. I might, depending on what time Joyce comes on, I might end it a little bit earlier. I suppose I could do a 3-hour stream.
Yeah, you could. You do sometimes, so. Usually you're 2.5. Oh, man. No.
Tina Turner was a raspy voice singer, Remy. Yep.
Yeah, kind of funny. I have an autistic kid. He's something else. Actually, I have two, but the one I'm talking about. And he is extremely literal. So, turn around means do a 360, not face the front of the room again because you are facing the back. But anyway, today, one of our girls, she is blind as a bat. I have her sit in the front and I make everything as big as I possibly can for her and she still can't see it. Kids are like, oh, Miss Todd, you got nice glasses. Did you see? I can say her name. But, oh, you got your glasses. That makes me so happy.
Oh, there he is. Kyan!
Kyan! Okay, hello, little lover. I love you, love you, love you. So,
Hi,
anyway,
Kyan! Opa loves you.
Anyway,
Up, up,
so
up.
just to finish the story, yeah, so to finish the story, I looked at her and said, oh, your glasses are so sharp. Which they're very nice on her. And so this point was, Mrs. Dodge, are you calling her glasses pointy? I was like, that's too funny. No.
Okay,
No,
now,
Patrick,
Raymond.
check the dictionary. That is another meaning. Oh, my let his name
Now,
out.
you said blue
Oh,
lighting.
what happened to the 45th like? Did somebody take it off? You had 45. It's 44.
Oh, somebody took a...
Oh, come on. You gotta love Anthony. Yeah. Well, yeah. I need my glasses all the time, too.
Only you have to love me, and even technically you don't have to love me. You've just chosen to.
I love you dearly, and you know that. Hi, Kyle. The heel. Kyle.
Oh, it's gonna get...
Oh, now you're up to 46. Thank you, people. You're so good to us.
Yeah, but remember when we
There
were
are
just hoping to
36
get
people
30?
on. I know.
We were just hoping to get... I started at 45. Okay, now Raymond, look at the lighting again.
What are you doing with the lighting?
The ICE changes lighting. There, I just changed
Oh,
it
does
back.
it?
Yeah,
Oh,
the ICE.
I see it's blue.
Now it's that
Yeah, that one is green.
white light, and it goes to
yeah.
that soft white.
Uh-huh.
What do they call that? Warm white or whatever?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it changes its colors. You can change its colors for daytime and nighttime running.
I didn't need glasses till I got older. And yeah, it's not good anymore. I really need them. No, I was just delighted. I said, maybe I can move you away from the front of the room now, because I always have her front and center.
That's the ICE4, Raymond.
Yeah.
Running really nice today. I'm really happy with
That's
it running.
great. Yeah, for sure.
If the ICE3 were working,
Yeah.
I would be ready to do my
Well,
ice baby thing.
Well,
No, I can't do
send
that.
it-
I hate vanilla ice.
send it back out.
Yeah,
Get it
we're gonna have to
fixed.
send it out.
Yeah, get it fixed.
But he's running nice and smooth. He's not making any sound.
Yeah, he is. He's looking great and looking sharp,
Although
too,
he's not
if we're
running
gonna do the sharp.
scale
So you have
speed.
different color in the back. Is that because it doesn't do it, or is
Well,
it different
well,
colors?
yeah. See, the thing is, what you think is blue lighting,
Uh-huh.
it's the brighter white lighting, but it
Gotcha.
reflects off the blue seats. In that
Ah,
section,
they don't
it's
have
a
blue
white
seats.
wall. It's a white wall in there. The board.
Ah,
That's the
that
hallway
makes
to the
sense.
restaurant.
Gotcha,
on the restaurant car.
gotcha. Oh, you'd have good eyesight when you got older? And it didn't happen. Aw. Man.
No, I had great eyesight up until the age of 42.
Yeah.
And I mean, like,
Those are
really
the 40s.
ridiculous eyesight.
And-
Like, I would read
oh,
the eye
yeah.
chart.
Yeah.
I forget what they called it. I was like 2010.
Right. Yeah, you were. You were
2005, 2005. You know, 2020 is.
And then
I was much better than that.
Oh.
I would freak out nurses when we would go to the
Alrighty.
hospital or the doctor's office, and I would just
That
step
was
30 feet away, 40 feet away.
10
and
years
read the
ago,
bottom line.
Artie, and I've been with Anthony for almost 40 years. Is it 40?
Yes, this
Yeah.
year is 40 years together.
And the Christmas? It'll be 40 years?
Yeah,
Yeah, gotcha.
yeah. The end of this year it'll be 40, so
Yeah.
it's just over 39 technically.
So, yepper. Yeah, it is just over 39. So, yeah, we've been together a long time. You get a Eisenbaum moment?
What's that? What's that?
Wow, that's weird. Why would your eyesight get better as you get older? Thought your eyes deteriorated. Oh, I'm getting cold.
Really?
Why, really? Okay, did they clean me?
Raymond, on the double-decker, I have now seen, I would have said absolutely no way, but I actually saw a 218 pulling them once. But originally, the only locomotive that pulls the double-decker IC is, class 146.5. And that's still what you'll see. Or actually, now there's the class 147 in white. And those are probably 95%. But I was watching a video the other day where they had 218 pulling the
very
Wake
nice,
cars.
Greg.
But I have never seen that done where a 101 pulled them. I've seen a 218 or a 146.5 or a 147.
Yeah, thank you. We are what we are.
A great couple of what? That's the issue. But I have a list of trains that I pre-ordered, and I want to buy
I will be
those,
back.
and
I'm
then
getting
I'll
a
look,
jacket.
and then I'm gonna see what's that. You're gonna go
I'm
get a
getting a
jacket.
jacket. I'm
Wow, you're in a sweater.
I know, I'm so cold.
That's from that walk home. No, so anyhow, I go to the doctor's, I have 42, and he gives me a vision test. He says, wow, you're still 2010, 2010. And he says, most guys around the age of 43 start to have trouble with their vision. And I started the next school year, 42 before I turned 43, and all of a sudden, the micro print in the teacher's editions of books was not as easy to read. And it kept getting worse. So I turned 43 and I finally, it just got so bad, I went and made an appointment with the eye doctor. And he said, yeah, you need glasses. I was like, right at 43, like, was this doctor some sort of gypsy doctor? Like, just predicting or cursing me? Because it was funny.
Oh, yes,
bad
although
way.
you were fighting it for a long time. You kept getting magnifying glasses so you could see a book you were trying to read. And we all laughed at you. Go get glasses.
Yeah, Raymond, that's the one I've got, the Design and Bond. I love that livery. That's just a cool looking train. And it looks good with my IC1 cars. That white livery and then the white cars with the red stripe. But it's just a cool looking locomotive. And then, but Raymond, again, it's rule one. Do it. If you like the cars, do it. Because from a distance, who can tell the difference between a 146.5 and a 101 except EFO up there, and Jean Ricard probably. I can't.
Buy some heather.
I'm looking right now at my 101s, which are on one shelf, and my two 146s, which are up above. And there's Maybe it's just slightly more angled on the 101 on the front end. I can't tell the difference. So do it. If you like the loco, get it and run it with your cars. And if anybody ever criticizes, tell them to come to my channel. I'll tell them where to stick it. Yeah, I'm debating on getting a BR-189 because that's a heavy freight hauler. And as I've expanded my freight, but I just bought those two gorgeous 193 freights, so I probably don't need another freight locomotive right now. But I'd love a 185 or a 189 just because they are so prevalent in Germany. They're everywhere.
Kyle's probably a year behind AJ.
What's that?
Kyle's probably a year behind AJ.
Gotcha.
27 in April.
Yep.
And
Our
AJ will
son
be-
turned 27 this year.
Yeah,
Our
he'll be-
youngest turned
Be
27.
28 in July.
So, oh my God, Kyle, you're old enough to be our child.
Yes, you are.
Get out. No. Actually, Lucy left. I had one of my former students here.
Oh, did you? That's
Yeah,
nice.
Lucy was here early on. I was hoping they'd stick
they
around
sure
and chat,
do.
but maybe they're watching.
Yeah, it could be. You never know. Great sunset. Yeah, we've had sun for like 4 days here. It's been really weird.
Well, in their defense, Randall, it is a 44 in both cases, whereas 101 and 145s, 146s, I'm sorry, 146 and 146.5 are totally different classes. Still tracks, but you know. But at least it's still 44, where it's basically the same thing. It's like people who can't necessarily tell the difference between an old 216 and an old 218. Because they're basically all variations of the V160. But yes, there are differences, and you know those differences. In fact, it's part of your job to know those differences, I think. And I love learning them.
Lucy was a grandmother's name.
Yep, that's right. Your one grandmother was Lucy.
Yep, she died before my oldest sister was born.
Yeah, you never knew your
So
grandma Lucy.
none of us knew her.
Yeah,
She just knew Mom was expecting her.
that's right. That's right. I remember that. Yeah, Ben from
Aw,
Eagle.
Randall.
Ben from Eagle Cross. I'm probably saying his channel wrong now. But Ben commented on one of my videos today, and it happened to be the video I posted last year on my last day as a teacher, my little retirement video. You know, and he said, I could feel the sadness even in the video. I'm like, I don't know if there was a lot of sadness, but there was melancholy.
Oh, for sure there was melancholy.
There was melancholy.
I don't think
because
sadness was out of line.
It's not like you know, some people retire too soon. I did not retire too soon. I don't miss it, and I don't have an itch in my head to even substitute teach and go back and make money as a substitute teacher, which would be more money than working a minimum wage job
Yeah.
somewhere if I decided I wanted to work
keep
just
us on the same schedule.
but
Except the holidays are different.
I'd make a lot more money. I'd make more money a day as a substitute teacher than I would. But I'd have no desire to step into a classroom, especially as a substitute, because I know what we did when we had a substitute. I came back to my classroom after we had a substitute. And even though I'd go in and try to crack the whip and let these students know where I come from, I don't miss it. But the thing about it was, when you retire, that video, it's where you go, damn, these 36 years went by fast. That's what hits you, is it makes you feel old. And I mean, I know I'm a lot younger than a lot of guys here, but damn, it makes you feel
man.
old when you go like, man, didn't I just start teaching yesterday and it's been 36 years? And then you go, well, yeah, I watched my kids grow up and teach and leave, and now I'm having grandkids. You know, time flies. You know, that's the John Lennon.
All right, night, Worthington.
Hey, Steve, take care. He's on a plane.
Oh, wow, okay.
He's been broadcasting us from 34,000 feet.
Wow, that's cool. Where's he going?
He's back to Minneapolis from Orlando, Florida.
Oh, all right. Oh,
I didn't think Orlando to Minneapolis flew that high.
Back to the cold.
I thought the continental flight stayed lower than 30,000. But oh well, because the intercontinentals fly at that 34,000.
Safe travels, Steve. Land safely.
Yeah, you've got some cool stuff, and I like how you've been reviewing them on your channel, Randall. Oh, there he is, Eagle Creek. See, I said Eagle Cross, but Ben said. But yeah, it got me thinking. It's like, you know, life is what John Lennon wrote in the song "Beautiful Boy." Life is what happens while you're busy making other plans.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, Joyce and I have been together almost 40 years, but I won't say it feels like yesterday, but we can recall in absolute detail the night we met, the 2 weeks I spent home before I started school again.
Remember walking through the park and being very cold.
Walking through the park after the big snowstorm hit and the very cold temperatures. And you were being all tough. You were wearing a jacket over a big sweater. You had that white sweater.
Yeah.
And you had your mittens on, so you weren't cold. And I'm like, I'm freezing.
No, I was freezing.
But of course, I
remember I was freezing.
already losing weight at that time.
Yeah. 2 hoppers coming, but delayed because of the icy roads. Yeah, I'm glad to hear you're okay. That was a nasty storm.
I got a couple more hoppers I can send you. If you want any more hoppers.
You must have done a lot of prop teaching. And all your things.
I'm sure you can stamp CSX or Santa Fe, BNSF or something on their butts and nobody would know the difference, even if they're Australian imports. It does.
No,
I've gotten used
no joke.
I've gotten used to it because I'm happy not going to work, which some of my ex-students would go, "What?" I go, you know, I miss the interaction with my students a bit, but this is what you work for. You work to retire, or at least you work with the hope you can retire. And there are people who don't have that hope, and that sucks. And I really feel bad for those people, but it's what I work for. Retirement is a reward. And, but it does take a little bit of all this free time, you know, and that's what, Rick from Foltz Bailey Railroad was telling me on Artie Stream. He's like, you do less work on the layout now than you did when you were working.
For sure.
And it's true. And I talked to him, part of it's fear, like doing the Fowler car. I have a big fear of failure with that, because I have failed the last 3 times I've tried to fix it. But also, I'm doing time-wasting things that I've wanted to waste time with. I am playing some video games I wanted to play for years and didn't have the time. I'm reading stuff that I bought the books and then haven't read. Because I buy it and then I'm like, well, I'm doing this for work. And I'm just enjoying getting up. I get up right after Joyce. She showers and does her thing, although she usually works out a bit. But since you injured your chest, you haven't been working out.
Right.
Because you haven't even done your walker.
I do my walker when I have time on the weekends.
Right.
We
Okay.
will do it still, even with the
So
test. That's a hang
there's
on.
that one, and then so I let her get done, getting ready for work and whatever, and then I'll get up and I go down to our son's old bedroom, which is now our workout room, and I'll do a half an hour workout or more, and then I do little exercises through the day, but then I'm on my computer playing games, I'm watching YouTube, keeping up on people's videos, and people are like, oh my god, that's boring. But no, when the last few years of teaching, as I was getting into trains, I never felt like I had enough time to watch people's videos. Now I can watch them all and have free time. But yeah, there are things that I was doing back then, like doing my YouTube shows and working on the layout, that I haven't done since I've retired. And part of that is just I'm trying to get used to being retired. It is a different program now, and trying to find that, and then I have Tuesdays and Thursdays where I have Cayenne, and I'm not going to work on my layouts when I have Cayenne, and then when Cayenne goes, I'm tired. And that's not a complaint. I've been with them all day, and we've played all day, and I'm running, you've got to know all the games Cayenne plays. We have the Doot 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 game, which is kind of like Follow the Leader, where we just run circles around the house. And then there's Build, and then there's Run Trains, and then there's Run Cars, and then there's Tunnel. There's Tunnel. There's Pushing His Cart.
Anthony plays a lot of games with them.
Yeah. And I love doing it. I've got this time. I mean, oh my God, if my grandfather had this kind of time with me.
Yep.
If my grandfather, I love my grandfather.
Sure did.
Didn't have enough time with him.
I will say one thing about being a teacher, getting the summers off, it's so much recuperation. We just wouldn't make it without at least a decent time off.
Right.
But also we work on a lot of different things. But my point is, we have time, and it kind of prepares you for retirement. You just are on summer schedule all the time.
But it's not quite the same.
And I know it's not. But also, just to finish, I know many couples whose husband retires, and then they retire, and they don't know what to do with each other. They start getting on each other's nerves, and it's just too much time. Well,
not us.
We have done these summers together. We have our routines. It's not going to be much of a surprise when I retire, And we all travel and travel and travel while we can.
Yeah, Mick,
And
and that's a hard transition, is military life, especially when you've been in the military a long time and transitioning. And yeah, Jean Ricard, I know how to fill my time. And the thing is, some people are bored sitting doing nothing. I like time sitting doing nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Until I
you're
decide.
right, Alan. You have to have a hobby. And
And-
Anthony has 12.
Yeah, I've got a lot of hobbies. Model trains is just the one I spend money on now, but I've got
Right.
other hobbies I still have around.
Yeah, it'll be nice to be able to get out.
Joyce is a hobby of mine too. But yeah, like,
Not sure about
but going back to Andy here, where he said after 40 years of graft, I thought F this, and I would have just gone all the way and said the F word.
Only 12.
That's what drove me out of teaching, per se. It wasn't the teaching. It was the BS outside the classroom. It was the politicians, and they're constantly uploading. We do almost as much work to prove to the state that we're good teachers as we do in preparing our lessons. There is so much BS paperwork we have to do weekly for the politicians who never read it. They just make us do it. They throw it in a garbage can and say, there, we proved those, we made those teachers prove, and a lot of you are on the other side of the fence. You're like, well, my kid has this teacher who sucks, and my kid, and I don't want to get into that. because a lot of times we can look at where your kid's at and talk about it. And everybody has a bad teacher because there are bad people in every profession. There's bad lawyers, bad doctors, bad cooks.
Trust me, teachers don't like bad teachers either.
And teachers don't like bad teachers either. But the hardest thing for a teacher to do is watch either a young teacher get started and fight through all the crap that we didn't have to do when we started. They are overloaded coming in nowadays. We didn't have to do that when we started. But it grinds on you. And as a young teacher who's not making the pay, who's already dealing with just the first year jitters, and then the government's coming in with all their oversight, and then, you know, Joyce can talk to you, the administrators, the principals that want to grind an axe with you for one reason or another. And then dealing with the parents outside who think their kid can never do wrong when their kid is throwing books across the room. It's that stuff that wears you down.
It doesn't seem like they do.
I mean, I could have stayed.
Have to prove their worth.
I could have stayed another 1, 2, 3, 4 years. But I would have had to do, like this year, I would have had to do all the state requirements. Plus, I would have had to renew my license.
Crossways.
What's that?
Crossways is leaving. That's Bernie, right?
Hey, Bernie, take care. I would have had
Bernie.
to go through all the classes and everything.
Should have waited a second.
Yeah, we're gonna be signing off soon.
Yeah.
I would have had to gone through everything was coming to a head. All the administrative BS stuff was due this year. It's one of those years where it was all due this year. Renew my license, teacher evaluation, state teacher evaluation, full term reevaluations, licensure update, blah, blah, blah. All this stuff was coming to, and I just didn't want to go through it again. And it wouldn't have made a big deal on my retirement bonus. I might have gotten an extra $10, $20 a month, $25 a month if I had stayed one more year. But it wasn't worth the $250 I have to pay to the state to renew my license. That's that extra $20 a month gone right there. Plus the $1,000 I'd have to spend on classes. Plus all the hassle, and well, it just, you hit a point where...
Hi, Lee.
Hey, Lee. He's got his little saying. Hi, model citizens, and Heath is model citizens.
Yeah,
He's model train crew.
Yeah.
I just got my little goodbye sayings.
Yep, you do. Sorry, should go order that pizza. 5-0.
Yeah, well, let's start just...
Yeah.
I don't want to shut that one down. Going.
Choo-Choos.
Well, he's not on the rant yet, so that's good. I hate shutting him down on the rant.
I know. You got two. How am I going to put these in the right place?
Turn the line to the part where it says off. Easy peasy, Louise. But like any job, you know, sometimes you just can't physically do the job anymore. You know, electrician with super shaky hands like my dad. There came a point where he just could not do the electrical work, and he finally retired because he just, he didn't really want to retire. He kind of wanted to retire because he'd been working for 50 years. But he finally retired at like 70, age 70 or whatever. 72. I don't know. He was retired for about 8 to 10 years before he died. But, yeah, it's very, it's all the ancillary stuff. It's all that outside stuff that, at least in teaching, that drives you out of it. The in the classroom stuff, even the kids' discipline, the fighting with the cell phones, yeah, it gets a little tedious, but it's only tedious because you don't get support from the parents and the administrators. You know, we can't write the kid up. We can't yell at the kid. If we give them a detention, we have to write out paperwork on why we're giving the kid the detention. And then the kid can protest the detention, and you're writing them up for having a cell phone out in class. Yeah, well, we don't think... Well, yeah, so now every kid's going to have their cell phone out in class. And they're going to be texting and texting and texting and watching movies. Earbuds in, watching movies. that stuff can wear on you, but it's if you had support, you could nip that stuff in the butt. But you don't have support.
Okay. No shop.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no shop. But you see, I've been a year retired, but that still gets me riled up. And now you know why I'm retired.
Right.
As much as I love the teaching part, the other stuff just was, I was fed up with it.
Indeed.
And again, the principal I had made it even easier to say, I'm not coming back.
Right.
And just like a certain person you're dealing with right now, although he's leaving.
He's leaving.
He's leaving.
So,
But only after he...
the devil, you know.
Yeah. He's leaving and only after dragging you through the mud more.
Yeah.
So anyhow, there's our little unhappy ending to this little 2.5 hour bit.
Yeah.
Well, personally, Kyle, I want both. I want reliability and looks, and I have neither. I'm neither reliable nor do I have the looks anymore. I don't know. Was I cute when I was younger?
You were cute when you were younger.
Was I good looking when I was younger?
You're still good looking.
You're paid to say that.
I'm ruining your joke, I know.
No, there was no joke there.
So.
All right. So anyhow, I want to thank all of you who spent, especially those of you who stayed here for all 2.5 hours of this insanity.
I know, that's amazing.
Amazing. So yeah, Alan, take care. We're going to say good night to everybody. Thanks for sharing another Friday with us. And it's really weird to say goodbye because it feels like we'll be right back here real soon. Because these Fridays come around real fast for me.
They do.
They do. But very cool. Check out McCarville Studio Models if you want to see some cool American modelers. He does O scale, HO, and S. I don't think he's doing N scale.
Sorry, N-scale people.
Sorry, N-scale people. But some cool stuff. It's a small shop. He's trying to grow. He makes models and then he sells them out and then goes on to the next series that he's designed. But he designs them himself and now he's printing them himself. Mm-hmm. So good luck to Michael McCarville.
Yep.
So again, on behalf of the wonderful, amazing Nancy.
It's Lil, damn it.
It's Joyce, damn it.
It's Joyce, damn it.
Lil, Joyce, Nancy, May Hurt Ya.
Yeah.
Cherry on the top. And all the other aspects of your personality that get written into those characters. Mm-hmm. We're going to say Auf Wiedersehen.
Choose.
And happy trains, everybody. Take care. We'll see you later.